Next, we have Christopher Luna, New York native. When he was 11 years old, the first author who captured his imagination and made him want to write with Stephen King. Today, Luna is the Poet Laureate of Clark County, Washington, and a graduate of the Jack Kerouac School of Disembodied Poetics in Boulder, Colorado. He is the co-founder with Tony Partington of Printed Matter Vancouver, whose publications include Ghost Town Poetry, an anthology of poems from the popular Vancouver, Washington open mic reading he founded in 2004. Luna's books include Ghost Town, USA, and The Flame Is Ours, the letters of Stan Brakhage and Michael McClure, 1961 to 78. Recent publications include the anthologies, Examinable but Merciful, and Gape Seed, the Pulitzer Remix, Tryon Review, and Soundings Review. All right, Christopher.
Podium is extra high. So there's a great artist and writer in Yakima, Washington. His name is Jeremy Galkey, and he does a zine, which he shouldn't, but he's giving away for free, called Critters and Gods. It's an H.P. Lovecraft based zine, and he will send it to you. So go on to Critters and Gods tonight and check it out. Anyway, the print, which is the only thing that I brought there that's not free, that's mine, so it's going home with me, is a print that he did of the first poem that I'm going to read. And I knew that Jeremy would be the right person for this particular poem when I saw his H.P. Lovecraft illustrations. Full Text Hallucination 102, and this is definitely a New York poem, and I wrote it there. Lighthouse wombs, inverted expectations, discovery of crabs in your system of ethics. The monarchs are dying, Freemasons are laughing, academics sodomized by their own textbooks. Riflemen have infiltrated the hallowed halls of selectives, cryogenics, sit in on secret meetings, sip scabby tea with the general. Technological obsolescence, irritating coincidence, molecular reconfiguration, habit forming, aesthetic pleasures aesthetic pleasures unexpected await the easygoing, unflappable shapeshifter. Reliable arsenal begins to lose its appeal as the blueprint reveals itself to the sorcerer in sparkling rhinestone. Hideously deformed children and genetically engineered beings speak to us in textured dreams, subterranean, deliberately. The meek impassive miss vital messages scrawled in subway catacomb phosphorescence, illegible glyphery. You should crawl back there sometime and see. Now, last image is of the people that use phosphorescent paint in the tunnels, the subways in New York. And so the lights go on and off a lot in the subways, and so you only really get to see a little bit of this sort of these glowing letters as you whir by. It's pretty great. And I really wish that I crawled back there. I haven't, but we all should at some point. The Lady of the Forest, after a painting by Stephen Elliott. Lost in Mercury, enchained in ringlet vines which snake their way up trunk's shaft, silver succubus, restless soul, seduces any dreamer who dares caress her gleaming limbs. I found out not too long ago that I have sleep apnea, and so I wear a mask to help me breathe. And I guess if I wasn't getting a lot of sleep, I also wasn't dreaming. You don't get as much REM sleep when you have apnea. And I guess what could really happen is that you could stop breathing in the night and die. So that's why, even though the mask sucks, you wear it. Apnea blues. It starts with a quote from my friend, another poet, Alex Burkett. You've seen Nightmare on Elm Street. If you smoke in your dreams, you still get cancer. Turns out dreams can kill you. When we sleep, the body releases a chemical which relaxes the muscles so that we will not act out. It is during this time that my airway closes up and my breathing stops. Apneas and hypopneas, musical maladies, deadly syncopation dances up on you unawares, frightens your partner, might just take you out mid-flight. Your sister, your mother, your lover, your friend wears an array of hip headgear to cover a scar on the top of her head. paints her toenails scarlet, takes William Gibson on the bus, notices the guy who watches her from across the aisle, but cannot imagine herself as the object of anyone's desire. Can't sleep, still plagued by night terrors, her mind replaying the evening 9 years ago, when her husband shot her 5 times before killing himself. So one of the things that I did is I do collage. I enjoy doing collage. So I've got a bunch of postcards that are free for you to take if you want, but there are 4 that I made just for tonight that have poems that I'm going to read tonight on them. Those are the 4 that are sort of in the front there. Feel free to take as many as you want, and this is one of the ones on one of the cards over there.
Thank you.
Yeah, I hope you enjoy it. Ego Confession, directed by Lucio Fulci. And if you don't know who he is, check him out. Overcome by a mass of contradictions which swarm over the brain like feasting maggots, enveloped in a living sea, no escape, no redemption, no way to undo what has been done. Erase your transgressions and start fresh, no way to see past the larva swimming in your eyes. So the really cool thing about Italian horror movies is that they like to use maggots. And I really think that the reason that they use these maggots is because it's something real that they can throw onto the actors and actresses. You know it's real, everybody's grossed out by them. You could cover them in the maggots, and it's a cheap way to get people really freaked out. It's great. Bring on the maggots. Heat wave. I sting, cannot breathe. The very air suffocates. We are nude, yet do not desire touch. Every letdown and insecurity rises to the surface, seeps through the pores to boil upon our bare skin. One more word, and I might just kill you. It's a summer poem. Back a few months. Yeah, summer. Lines gifted to me in a dream. That's a very literal title, so if anybody has a better title, let me know. I was just happy. I'm happy when I get any words in dreams, because I don't see lines of poetry in dreams, although I wish I did. Lines gifted to me in a dream. Air, this is how it goes. I would have appreciated a warning. 3 marbles, 6 tadpoles, measuring for new furniture. Samhain, furthermore, love, the new approach, the doctor, automatic, son of a bitch, help in the grocery with the produce. Stool produced, uncanny situation, not even cold yet. This transmission is dream related. Wish I could step back into the maw and pull the words through the gaping, serious issues to attend to. This is the newest one of the ones that I'm going to read tonight, and it was partly inspired by Leah Noble Davidson, who's a Portland poet who just wrote a book that just kicked my ass called Poetic Scientifica, and it came out from a press called University of Hell, which I think is like the coolest name for a press that I've heard in a long time. So anyway, I don't know if people reading this poem would necessarily be able to find where it came from in Leah's book, but it's inspiring all around. So this is called Organic Terror, and it's for Leah Noble Davidson and Dario Argento. Every word I know becomes a swarm of maggots wriggling in my cupped palms, occasionally slipping through the space between my fingers and falling to the earth, crushed by unknowing souls. Meaning is maddeningly absent from such a viscerally repulsive moment. Vomit rises into my throat in peristaltic paroxysm as phrases begin to form before my eyes. I do not want to see what they have to show me. I cannot bear to hear them. I cannot bear to hear them wail as they worm their way into my ears, up my nose, and fill my open mouth. The truth contained in their revelations overwhelm all attempts to protest. The larva overcome me. I am no more. So one of the things that I do is I worked with found material, and I found, some pretty disturbing material about a serial killer, and it turned into a poem in a bunch of sections called Catatonic Expressionism, and this is just 2 really short parts of that longer poem. From Catatonic Expressionism. 1. He used a hacksaw to cut off her face and then ate her eyes. It did not lose its essence as an animal when it died. 3. My identity was written on the wall by ancient and formidable guides and forces. And there I am, in a kind of a mask, voicing the voice of an aspect of what I've become, or an aspect of what I could well become, or an aspect of what I've become and not become aware of yet. The best thing I can do is keep my hand out of it. They say I ate my father, but I didn't. Don't be fooled by their glowing, innocent faces. Don't be fooled by their glowing, innocent faces. There's a lot of glaze craze in their eyes. Homes are on the verge of sliding right now. So I got two more. This one is new also. It's for Elizabeth Short, who is better known as the victim of the Black Dahlia murder. For Elizabeth Short. An exquisite corpse, mutilated, bisected by a minotaur, singular or plural, and arranged in Duchamp tableau on Magritte brass, subject and object, created to remind women that they are nothing more than an aesthetic fascination, certainly not flesh and blood, most definitely lacking a soul. Casual bisection, collaborative mutilation, complete objectification, a young, vibrant woman sliced into pieces to be disassembled and reassembled, rendering her a ready-made collection of geometric shapes with a gash instead of a lotus flower opened in enlightenment's bloom. I don't know if that needs an explanation or not, but basically, I read this book that was about how people like Man Ray, Marcel Duchamp, and others were in this part of the same community with the person who is the best possible suspect that they have for that murder, and the book suggests that, and it's kind of like a chicken or the egg kind of a situation, that it's possible that things like the exquisite corpse and some of the kinds of art that was sort of in the air at the time predicted or suggested some of what happened to her, and that what happened to her was she was arranged like some of the pieces that were made before her murder, and that after she was murdered, some of these same people, and possibly because they knew who did it and they were just kind of trying to deal with the horror of all of it, also created pieces that echoed the way she was arranged on the grass and the things that had been done to her body and things like that. And it's like, I had seen Kenneth Anger's book, Hollywood Babylon, which has, I think, one picture of her. And this book has all the crime scene photos, and sometimes they go in for a close-up of details so that they can compare it to a piece of art. And you can't unsee those things, and so I had to write something about it. So the last one that I have for you is more fun. It's one of my favorites, and it's it's like one of those poems where you've got the thing rattling around in your head for 5 or 10 years, and it's just not quite ready to come out, and so I was really glad when it finally did. And this is one of the ones that you could take home on a fun little postcard if you want. I was working on this in my head for a long time. Loving poetry is like being a fan of horror movies, so enamored with the genre that you are willing to sit through movies that are completely moronic and not at all scary, in the hopes of catching that one unique concept, or cool character, or original way of dispatching with someone. The basketball, which completely obliterates a person's head in that piece of shit Deadly Friend, or the fully grown adult male who claws his way out of the woman who has been raped by an alien in Extra. You stick with it to the end because you love it, fully realizing that they can't all be The Exorcist, The Omen, or Night of the Living Dead. Can't all be Cronenberg, Argento, Luton, Whale, or Carpenter. Dig?